Hi, it's Dwyer, gamblersadvisory.com, DwyerVIP.com for premium picks. Look us up in the sports section on Roku. We're there. Dwyer Boxing and Sports News. Obviously, today I'm broadcasting from the warehouse. What can I say? Remember, the opinion you should follow should be your own. Just consider this video to be a second opinion from a complete stranger online. Now, one of the good things with the internet is that you can actually see what someone said before. You can actually track my NCAA picks simply by looking at earlier videos. Now, before this NCAA tournament kicked off, I recommended two teams. Right? One was Arizona. They're in the Elite Eight now. So now you're able to hedge the play. And keep in mind, you got in on Arizona at 9-1 odds at the start of the NCAA. Right? So now you can bet against Arizona. If Arizona loses, you profit because you were on the other side of the play. If Arizona wins, you profit with leverage because you were in on Arizona early. The other team I suggested was Michigan State at 7-1. Right? That's at the start of the NCAA. Well, now Michigan State's in the Sweet 16. And now they face a tough opponent in Virginia, the 1 seed. Now, the gamblers know what's going on, so Michigan State is favored, right? My point to you, though, is you can't risk it. This game is simply too dangerous. Whatever you bet on Michigan State, I want you to place that, well, my recommended play is to place that right now on Virginia +2. Keep in mind, you're getting points with the 1 seed here. I think Michigan State's going to win. This bet is purely for strategic purposes. If Michigan State loses, guess what? You walk away, no harm, no foul. You haven't lost anything. Right? If Michigan State wins, then all you've done is given back a little bit of your leverage. You still have not 7-1 leverage, but you'd have about 6-1 leverage going into the Elite Eight. Right? So for that reason, I say on the Michigan State play, you need to start hedging the play right here. Take a hard look at Virginia +2. As I said before, this is a strategic play. The way I play the NCAA is not on a game-by-game basis. I'm just trying to do strategy, move pieces like a chessboard to hook myself up so I have leverage late in the game. Let's talk about another suggested play that I came up with, right? Something to consider. And I believe you need to cash out here on this play too. Before Stanford played Dayton, I said take both sides. You're getting incredible leverage, right? Because Stanford was 50-1 to win the tournament on a futures play, and Dayton was 100-1 to win the tournament on a futures play. So, hear me out here. If you bet $10 on Dayton, right? And if you bet $20 on Stanford, just so you had $1,000 worth of possible winnings on both sides. Right? That's how preposterous 100-1 leverage is, folks. Right? So if you're out $30 when you stake your position on the Stanford-Dayton matchup, just hoping to get leverage in the Elite Eight, you have the leverage. Right? Dayton won that game. My point is simply this. Now's the time to cash out. They face Florida. My recommended play here is, again, if you have $10 on Dayton, with possible winnings of $1,000, right here you need to use, in my opinion, about 30% of the hedge. My recommended play here is to take Florida on a money line, put $300 on Florida. I know it's a lot of money, but this is the purpose of getting all that leverage, is to be able to cash out. Put $300 on Florida. Florida's favored by 10. I'm guessing Florida might be, let's say, a minus 200 to minus 300 play. Let's assume the worst. Let's say that Florida on a money line's a minus 300. Let's say you bet 300 on Florida. Understand what happens. If Florida, the 1 seed, the 10-point favorite, wins the game as widely expected, at least as priced, understand you would get, if they're a minus 300, $100 back on that play. You subtract out the $30 total that you paid to get leverage on the Stanford-Dayton game, right? 20 on Stanford, 10 on Dayton. And you walk away from the casino with $70 in profit, right? Think about that. You just, came in, saw an opportunity, you showed up, you used the casino like an ATM. Perfect, right? That $70 profit, you can just leave the table. That's a smart play. Just leave the table with the money. Go buy yourself top shelf liquor or go treat your girl to something nice. Let's say the almost unthinkable happens. And let's face it, upsets happen. Dayton's still alive. Let's say Dayton beats 1 seed Florida. Right? Let's say now you're out $330. Well, understand, now you have Dayton in the Final Four. And keep in mind, because you got 100 to 1 leverage, understand that while you're out $330, you still have a chance on the play to net $670. You can hedge Dayton further if you choose. That's what getting all that leverage was about, right? So to sum up, and I know Arizona's done well. I know Michigan State is looking as good as advertised. But to sum up, the plays I'm recommending just today, right, for you to think about, is to take Virginia +2. You're just hedging part of your Michigan State position. If Virginia wins, great. You walk away from the table without any loss on the Michigan State play. If Virginia loses, your leverage play is still alive. And you still have significant leverage because you've got Michigan State at 7-1 at the start of the tournament. Right? Take Virginia +2. My recommended amount is whatever you bet on Michigan State to get things started. Right? You might even want to bet a couple dollars more just to compensate yourself for the VIG. Okay? The other play is to bet heavy on Florida against Dayton. Dayton was an 11th seed for a reason. Archie Miller has done a tremendous job getting this team to hit 3-point shots. But understand, the team's not that good from the free throw line. Understand, the team lacks size. And understand, you have the leverage here to actually step in, either make a profit and walk away, or if you lose the bet, survive for another day. I like Florida big to take full advantage of the leverage. The way I would play it is I would, if it's a -300, I'd bet 300 on Florida simply to beat Dayton if, I've bet 1/10 of that amount in getting the leverage on the Stanford-Dayton game 1 round back. Okay? That's how I see it. Let me hear from you. If you see other strategic plays, let's talk about them, right? Understand, you should view the NCAA as just a money-making opportunity, one big event. In other words, when you see situations where there's big-time leverage to be made, don't think in terms of winning that game. Think in terms of having leverage that you can hedge out of later for a profit, right? The goal is at the end of the tournament to walk away from the sports book with a profit. That's the goal. It's harder than you think. I think it takes strategic plays looking rounds ahead at the matchups. To sum up, Virginia +2. Use some of the hedge you got on Michigan State, right? Virginia +2. Plus, I would also take Florida heavy against Dayton on a money line, not on the point spread. Let me hear from you. Thanks for stopping by.